Maybe you've thought about creating a calendar album, or maybe you've never thought of it before, but would like to hear more about that. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Let's create a legacy calendar album. Hello, scrapbookers and creative friends. I'm Linda Petuch, Creative Memories Independent Advisor in Jupiter, Florida. And today I want to talk about the process that I go through in order to plan my calendar album. I do this every year. So right now I'm starting planning and building my 2026 album. I know it seems kind of crazy because it's only September, but it does take a while. It's my huge creative project for the year, and it's something that I think is very, very important. When we talk about legacy, I did some research because, I don't want to just throw that word legacy out there without having a little backbone behind it. So a legacy really is, and I'm going to read my notes a little, just forgive me, the lasting impact of memories you create through your actions, characters, values, and contributions to others, which continue to influence people long after you're gone. This extends beyond material wealth, thank goodness, because I don't really have that, beyond material wealth to include intangible gifts like love, respect, wisdom, and how you make others feel. A legacy provides purpose, connects generations, and helps you live more intentionally in the present moment. And I really think that the work that we do, it's a labor of love. I understand that. When we make our albums, it goes way beyond hobby. It even goes beyond a job. It is a legacy that we're creating for future generations, for current generations, but also for future generations. And I think that work is so important, and you need to be applauded for the work that you do creating your family albums. The calendar book that I make every year, I love because it connects all of my family that's all over the globe, and it connects all those generations, and it shows everyday things that we find that are important, special holidays that we celebrate, and traditions. All of these things are part of what we call our legacy. And that's what I thought I would go through today and show you the process that I use to decide how I'm going to make my album and to show you a couple of options. So let's get started. Now, using Creative Memories products, there are two size options that you can use for pre-made calendar products that you can add to the layouts. Number one is the 12 by 12, and this is what I've done for years, so I'm sticking with it. I am using the ebony album cover. Most of mine are ebony. There were a couple of special issue ones that had like the seasons on the front, but for the most part, most of them are ebony. So the 12 by 12 is a great option if that's the size that you'd like to use, because then you decide whether you want to use regular pages or top loading pockets, however you want to do it. But we have a lot of options with the 12 by 12. Now, if you don't want to go this large, if you don't really think you're going to use that many pages for your calendar, then we do have the option of the scrap journal size. And the Happy Album, it used to be called Happy Album, but we're calling it Scrap Journal now, but it's the same album size. It's the 6.75 by 10-inch album. And there is available a planner, Happy Album Planner, which has calendar pages, and I've already loaded this album with them, so you can see they're in here. And all I did was I put the month up here. That was a sticker that came with this kit. So I've put the names of the months, but you can see there are other icons and words that you can use to add to your calendar, and it comes with the page protectors as well. So this is another nice size. And if you're going to use this, once you've made the decision what size you're going to do, then there are other options, and you want to figure out what format you're going to follow. This one just has the calendar, and there are no extra pages in there. So perhaps you wanted to use this size for your calendar. you could insert in between the calendar pages, you could insert some of these pocket pages. You know, these are the side-loading pocket pages. You could put a couple of those in there. You could put plain scrap journal size album pictures in there. So that way you could add photographs if you wanted to. I know a lot of people like this size because number one, it's not that large. If you don't think you're going to have that many photos to add, this is a really good option so that you can add some photos for each month, but not have to have a giant album at the end of the month. And as I said, or at the end of the year, this is a really good option for a smaller version of the calendar, and we do have other pages that you can use to add to it to insert in there. Personally, I have stuck with this because this is how I started. And in order to streamline this, we used to have the white refill pages that had the calendar on it, and Creative Memories doesn't make those anymore, but instead we have this alternative, which is the This Life Calendar Kit. And so this is what I've used the last couple of years. This comes with the pre-printed calendar pages, and then on the back of each page is a color. So because I use a lot of top-loading pockets, I try to arrange these so that the back that's showing goes kind of with the month. So there's a little bit of coordination there, but it's a really nice way to do it. And then I have my calendar pages. And the thing about the squares that are on these calendar pages is that our square punch, the square punch that we have, if you punch a picture, you want to punch some paper that matches that matches the color that you're working with, this square fits exactly over these squares if you want to just add some interest to your calendar page. So I use these, and then this comes also with these banners that you would put at the top of the calendar page. These are cut to fit at the top of the calendar page. Now, one side has a lot of color, and then the other side is more of a neutral color. So you could choose either way. And if you didn't even want to use these for the calendar banner, you could just use them as borders on subsequent pages that you would put on here. But this gives you a lot of options, particularly if you use top-loading pockets. That way you get to use both sides. And you can see how it shows that it has a neutral color on the flip side of that. Along with this come these other accessories. We have the days of the month, numerals representing the days of each month, some special symbols for holiday celebrations. These are the monthly titles, and then here are some monthly numerals. Oh, they're not numbers, numerals. And that you could add those like for special occasions and so forth. You wouldn't be able to use that for the whole year, but there might be special months that you would want to put a special bigger number. All right. So I also decided to use the simple page kits. So I bought the bundles this year. So bundle number 1 had January, February, March. Number two had April, May, June. And the bundles came with these wonderful sleeves. So once I create the page, then I pop them in here. And I've been waiting because I didn't want to start my calendar quite yet. But I pop the pages in here that I've pre-made. Very simple page kit. I didn't put all the stickers on yet because, again, I'm not sure, what my photos will be yet. But it comes with a simple page kit, and because I use top loaders, I can use the back of this paper as well. So it doesn't make the album quite so thick. So as I prepare each one, I keep them in the sleeve, and I just put a sticky note to remind me which month it is. The stickers are there so that I can add them to my album. Now I will be putting these in my ebony album. I just ordered that ebony album, and I have it now. So I will be assembling this and putting the pages in there so that that'll be ready to go. I also was playing with one of the virtual crop ideas. Where did I put it? It's right here. Here it is. And Tammy McEwen had posted this. It's kind of starburst cuts, and I decided I wanted to play with that and make a page. So I did, and I ended up making this my title page for this album, Live, Love, and Take Pictures. And we have all these special moments. So this will be my title page. Normally this is the last thing I do, so it's a little bit different this year because I use these patterns, and I made my title page. Now, after you do all of those, decide what you're going to do, what format you're going to use. Then, remember, you can always insert pocket pages, either of different 8.5 by 11 or the multi-pocket pages, more top-loading pockets, more plain pages, because that is the beauty of our flex binding. You can add all of those things. I just want to show you my 2025 and how that works once it's put together. Now, this album was pre-made. I finished it in, I think, October last year, so that I would have it ready for this year, for 2025. And it is the one album that I am able to keep up with. I add photos to it, and for the most part, what I do is I have my calendar page, and then I call my calendar books Quilted Memories because I make a kind of a paper quilt square, and this is my huge creative endeavor every year, is my calendar book. So I get all of that out of my system. I don't worry as much about being creative on the individual pages. I just want to get the pictures down. But because it's pre-decorated, I can just add embellishments, but I can add a lot of photographs. Occasionally, I have to use a peekaboo pocket, which I can add on there, but I have this already preset. So you have your calendar page. You would not have to do a decorative page here. This would be a wonderful page that would go with your calendar, that you can add more pages for the month. And then the next page, you could make it the next calendar page. But I know February, we have my son's birthday in February, and this particular month, this last February, we had a lot of activities that we did, so I needed to add more pages. See, I added a pocket page here. So it depends on how your month is, but remember, you can insert pages. But have your calendar page and either have a design if you want to do that, or have your first page for photos, and then maybe allow another double page spread. This would be this was the page kit pages, and as you can see, it had layout. The layout was there and had specific places to put the photos. But if those specific spots on the page kit layout don't fit my photos, it doesn't matter to me. I ignore them, and I just make the pictures work so that they fit for me, and that way they're set with my different layouts. As you can see, I also use my calendar to add photos. This was one of the page kit. This was the page kit layout. Had to add a peekaboo pocket here. And then I generally have to add an extra page for every month. And then this is the back of the June page. But you see, you get it all laid out. Again, this was the page layout, didn't exactly fit, so I just put my photos and made them fit within that layout. Had to add extra here. But you see, I don't allow myself lots and lots of pages because I don't want this book to get too big and too thick, though this is our history of our family from all over the globe where everybody lives. This was our son and daughter-in-law trip to Lithuania this summer. They go home every summer to see her family and to be with her family, and so I made a page for that. And then again, the page layout, I ignore that layout if it doesn't fit my photos, and I just make it work. But in here, I put things that are important to our family, things we celebrate, things that are important to us. I always have my croppers on here because my croppers are like my family, and I include all of them as well. My gardens, and it just depends. Special birthday party for a special friend, and then what I'll do too, all right, September, of course, I haven't done yet. I wait till the end of the month, and then I go back and I put dates on here, and I don't pre-write the dates, even though I know when birthdays are and so forth, but I'm not sure until the end of the month how many photos I'm going to want to put on the calendar itself. I know we have Ross's birthday on the 27th, so I'm going to make sure that I leave a space for that, and I'll work my photos around that. And then on the subsequent pages, now see, these are open, I didn't put all the, this was the page kit, but I didn't put all the extra embellishments that came with the kit because I'm waiting to see how many photos I need. So I'm allowing myself, here's a good example, here's my calendar and then my calendar quilt, and then I allow 2 double page spreads for the month, and then we go on to the next month. Now, October, we have a lot of birthdays, so I know I'm going to need extra pages, but I can always add those extra pages. Sometimes, yeah, see, I have it built in because we have so many birthdays. But then here's November. We have the calendar and the quilt. This was the double page spread that came with the page kit. Now I'm into December. I have a feeling I will probably need to add some more pages in here, but I'll wait and see. December for sure, but that's easy. This was the page kit, but then I have space that I can add. And then once I've made those page kits, then I use the sleeve to put all the extra stickers and laser borders and all the things that would go with these, so I can work on this after I put my photos on. Then I can add extra embellishments. I find this really easy to keep up with because I just worry about a month at a time. Once the month is over, then I go back. And if worse comes to worse, if I have to do a couple of months, it's not like trying to go back years and years to try to remember. But within this, I show and keep record of what's important to our family, things that we care about, people who we love, people we care about. And it's just a really great way for us to keep that legacy going. So basically, when you make this, I made some notes. When you're doing your legacy calendar, see this was that special issue we had. I have a couple of these, but other than that, it's ebony. So when you're doing your calendar planning, because the legacy, now that's a long-lasting impact of particular events or actions that took place in the past or in a current person's life. So you want to make decision what size you want to make, and whether, if it's a 12 by 12, use regular pages, top loading pocket pages, or a mixture of the two. And of course, there are also the additional things. Then if you want to use the 6.75 by 10, the scrap journal size, then once you decide what size, you've got to figure out what cover set do you want. Do you want a design on it? Do you want it a plain cover set? Then the format. So like the types of pages that you're going to use. For the 12 by 12, I'm going to use the This Life calendar, simple page kits. Scrap journal does have that happy album planner, so you want to get your format. Then planning ahead, do you want to do a calendar block, a quilt page? Would you want to use, I haven't decided what I'm going to do for 2026. I've used punches, I've used recipe templates, I've just played with the different frame punches. And we have inking this year. I'm thinking I might do some inking with recipe templates, see how that goes. But decide how you want to do that if you want to do that design page. If you don't, you can skip right over this and go right to how many page layouts you want to have. And then remember additions. You can do pocket pages, peekaboo pockets, remember those cascading pages, additional pages, regular and top loading, however you want to add it together. But kind of make those basic decisions for yourself, and then see how you can put it together. And I promise you, you will be thanking yourself if you have an album all ready, that all you have to do as the year goes on, at the end of the month, you go back and you print the pictures that will fit in the space that you have left. Include your calendar and whatever the page layouts that you have planned ahead for, or if you need to add another one. But you'll thank yourself that you have just so many that you're going to print your pictures for. I find I don't print as many pictures either, because I look and I see how much space I have, and then I make sure that I stay within the space that I've allowed myself, and that seems to work really, really well. So I hope it's something that you think about. I hope this format might be something that will help you decide how you're going to do it. So that is that. Well, I hope this gave you some ideas, or gave you affirmation that what you're doing is really important. You're creating a legacy for your family now and for future generations. That's really what's important. This is you're going to have a lasting influence on them because you're recording what's important to your family, your values, your character, your inheritance that they have. Why do we celebrate these things? These are important to us. Your shared experiences and also traditions. So whether you decide to do the happy album scrap journal size, or you want to go full 12 by 12, whatever it is that you decide to do, I hope this gave you a guide so that you can go step by step, get it done, get it set up and ready to go. And then all you have to do in 2026 or the next year that you're working on, because you can prepare this and then go back to other years if you wanted to do that as well. Remember, you could do a range of years too. That's up to you, however you want to do it. But I just think it's important that you understand that what you are doing is so valuable to your family. So if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer those. If you check out my website, Linda's Scrapbooking Station, see what I have there. I do have some of these page kit bundles that you can purchase there. Some are no longer available, but I have a few. Again, if you have not subscribed, I appreciate you doing that. Thank you for following me, my loyal subscribers. I appreciate that so much. And until next time, happy scrapbooking.